Welcome to Closing Time, Becky Thomas.
Thank you.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Very good. Very good. You want to introduce yourself on who you are and how we know each other and so forth?
Well, I'm Becky Thomas.
Okay.
And I'm a luxury real estate agent at Keller Williams.
Fancy.
Done that for 4 years now.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And where are you located? Where's your office?
In Heartland.
Heartland?
Lake Country. Yep.
Lake Country area.
Yeah.
That's where I live.
Same.
So, yeah. So the reason why I had you on today was you have an interesting story. And you were a dual athlete, right?
Duathlete.
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 Okay.
Triathlete.
Okay. So I have no idea what a duathlete is.
Okay. All right.
What is that?
So it's two sports, run, bike, run. So you run and then you bike.
Okay.
And then you run again.
Okay. That sounds like so much fun.
It's so fun.
But didn't you get like a scholarship for that?
So I had a scholarship to University of Kentucky as an athletic trainer.
Okay.
So I was like the person on the sidelines of the football field who would run out if people got injured.
Okay.
So that was me. And then after PT school and I had my kids, I ran my first marathon.
Dang.
And then when I was pregnant with my second one, somebody said, "Oh, do you want to do a triathlon?" And I was like, "That sounds hard."
While you're pregnant?
Well, yeah.
Can you even do that?
Yeah, you can do that.
Run marathons while you're pregnant.
Yeah, you can do all the things.
What happens if you have your...
Well, that would be bad.
That would be terrible.
Yeah. But there's probably a doctor.
Britt, is that okay?
Who's also running.
Is that okay, Britt? We've got Becky Thomas's whole crew here. She came with a posse.
Totally.
And apparently we have a PR rep from our team. Come here. Come on camera real quick and just wave to it. There we go. That's her PR rep. She says if what we can and cannot say, apparently.
Yeah, we have to keep checking.
Too bad she's here because, man, this
right?
is a whole different
Totally.
So
anyway, so this person was like, "Do you want to do this with me?" And I was like, "Sure, why not? If you can do it, I can do it." And so I did. And then we moved up here and I was like, "Oh, they have triathlons here too." And little did I know it was like Ironman country up here.
Okay.
And then I just kept training and doing them and got a sweet bike when I was 30, a long time ago. And then, kept competing at different sanctioned races until I made Team USA and competed at the World Championships in 2010, or was it 2009? So a little while ago.
Okay.
Well, it feels like yesterday, but
let's bring it back to the college days. Cause I mean, to be like an athlete, I mean, that's a lot of dedication. Like, what did that look like? Because you're obviously doing schooling and then you're,
working. Yeah, it was a lot. I mean, so when I went to college, I took 23 credit hours my first semester, which might have been a little crazy. Mm-hmm. And I was working like 50 hours a week in the training room. So we'd have to be there before the athletes, do all the treatments, and then come back to after class to work at the training facility. So it was a lot. And then actually what maybe some people don't know is I got married after my freshman year of college. So that I was also married throughout college, but didn't have kids until after I graduated from PT school.
How'd you meet your husband?
Well, oh gosh, really? We're going to go there.
Sarush says his nickname is Super Steve.
Super Steve. Yeah, Super Steve.
Why is it Super Steve?
Because he can do all the things. He can fix everything, our cars. He does accounting, all the things.
Dang,
so we call him Super Steve.
Super Steve,
yeah,
man. Okay.
He'll come and hang lights for my clients, if we need that done too.
Man.
So, yeah.
Well, good. Yeah. Then we'll have a good handyman I could add in my database.
Yeah.
Does he do FHA repairs?
Maybe he could. Otherwise, I have other people too.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah.
For me, he does.
Sorry, I know we got off topic. So, back to the athletics. And I'm sorry, you actually met your husband, got married after freshman year.
Oh yeah, so we met here. So we both went to Arrowhead.
Okay.
And then he followed me down to Kentucky, and so then we just.
Are you in the
married.
Cumbrian School District?
I am now, but
okay.
I was in.
We hate Arrowhead, right?
Oh, that's okay.
Okay.
That's fine.
Right.
My kids went to Pewaukee. So,
okay.
Yeah, it's all good.
Got it.
Yeah, I didn't have a choice. Just kidding. No, we like Arrowhead.
But you, athletics seems to be like a big part of your life.
Yeah, it has been. So I competed for about 8 years all over the country. and traveled a lot. And then I was injured. So I was signed up to do Ironman, and I was also teaching like boot camps and stuff on the side. And I tore a muscle in my calf. So it kind of took me out for about 6 weeks. And at that point, there was not enough time to recover to actually do the Ironman. So I backed out of the race. And then after that, I just had a long time to kind of reflect on what was going on in my life at that time. And then I stopped competing for a long time. So, and actually this year is the first time that I'm going to compete in something in a really long time.
Dang, and what is it?
Yeah, it's called High Rocks.
Okay.
So it's a kind of like CrossFit, I guess, a little bit. There's different, so you have to do an activity and then you run 0.62 miles and then come back and do another activity, run. So it's like sled pull, sled push, farmer carry, burpee, broad jumps. Like it's a pretty intense, race.
Yeah.
So.
I did CrossFit for a little bit. Yeah. But, life gets so freaking busy and I can't, because they like do classes and they only had it for like 5 a.m., which hell no, I'm not going to do that at 5 a.m. I'm sorry. And then they had one at 4 and then at 5, but then you have like appointments. It's like winter prime time for appointments. So it's like I could barely go anyways. You ever do like the jerks over your head?
I used to. I used
snatches?
to do CrossFit.
Oh, God.
And then also had a series of injuries and surgeries.
You get injured a lot. What's going on?
I think we have like a family history of like hypermobility stuff. Okay. So it's all good. Yeah.
But then you also went to school for physical therapy.
Yep.
Now, tell me a little bit about that and why you chose physical therapy. Is it just because of the athletic side of things?
Yeah, I think it was mostly because of the athletic side. I went to Kentucky thinking I was going to be an athletic trainer with a physical therapy degree. And then you quickly realize how hard it is to get into PT school. So that has to become your main focus. And I grew up in a family, both my parents were pharmacists, so I kind of knew I wanted to go into the medical field.
So you get all the good drugs?
We did, yeah, actually.
I'm just kidding. Brent, we good? Look at I know you're thinking
Brent did not like that.
It's a joke for the podcast. It's a pharmacist joke. It's a pharmacist joke. No, that's good. So medical field, and obviously it just makes sense for you at the time to do something that, one, you love, but you're also into that medical realm.
Yep, exactly.
Make your parents proud.
Yeah,
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Actually, you want to know something? Some of you might not know. I don't even know if Britt knows this, but I actually wanted to be like a hairstylist.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I cut all so my sister had Barbies and I would go and get them out of her room and cut all their hair and give them like these cool 80s haircuts, like where you shave the side and then it was like long on one side and short on the other. And then she'd cry and it was really bad.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sarah.
So that didn't work out. You're like, nah, I'm probably not going to be a good hairstylist.
My parents were like, no, you got to go do something else.
That's too funny.
I'm like, okay.
Did you ever get into the physical therapy realm as a career at all?
Yeah. So I graduated from PT school in 2000. And then I just renewed my license yesterday. And so I've been
for physical therapy?
Yeah. So I've been a PT for 24 years.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And I went on to get, so I got a second, so I have 4 degrees total. I have 2 masters. My first one's in physical therapy. My second one is in health professions education from Rosalind Franklin in Chicago. And then my 4th degree, I went back to get my doctorate in physical therapy from Arcadia University out
So
east.
Are you really Dr. Thomas?
Mm-hmm. I am really Dr. Thomas.
You should is that on your business card?
No. No.
When you walk into listing appointments, you should be like, I'm Dr. Thomas, your realtor?
No, I don't say that, though.
No?
Well, because it's a different realm that I'm in. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
That's actually really impressive. No shit.
They call me Dr. Becky yet.
How did you have that time?
To do what? Both things?
Like
or
all those degrees. And then did you get your doctorate while you were doing real estate too?
I don't sleep, Jeff. Don't you know that about me?
I don't know I don't know what I would do without my sleep. A good solid 8. If I don't get a solid 8, I'm a piece of crap.
I'm a good solid, like what, 4 guys?
Maybe? Jeez. Sarush, is our stuff breaking, dude? That's okay. We're good. Light's still on. So why real estate then?
Why real estate? Okay. Mm-hmm. Do I not know like the quick story?
Whatever you want to do.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So I was teaching at a college for 10 years. I started the physical therapist assistant program for Bryant Stratton College. And I honestly had, in that time, that's when I got my other degrees while I was there. And for the most part, like, so in PT school, when I went the first time, you didn't have to have a doctorate, and then they switched the degree to a doctoring profession. And so honestly, like for some of it, I wanted to have that so that it would hold more credibility, because sometimes people will be like, oh, I want to see the doctor of physical therapy. I'm like, I'm pretty much that.
Same credentials.
Yeah, same credentials, but don't have that. So I wanted to get that. So I got that. And then it was actually when we were looking for a house, and our real estate agent, who was Sharon Tomlinson, who I still love, and we are great friends. I call her my real estate mom. Yeah. And so she was our agent, and we got to know her. We looked for a house probably for way too long. And finally, we found a house. We got it. And by then, like, her and I were friends. And so she's like, Becky, you should really go into real estate, get your license. I'm like, no. I just got my doctorate. Like, why would I do that? I just spent all this time and money to get these degrees. And she's like, I know, but just do it anyway. I was like, okay.
Like, screw it. I'm just going to have
add something.
Another credential.
Right. And she wasn't the first person that said that. So I was like, okay, maybe God's trying to tell me something here. So I was like, why not? Well, I'll go for it. So I did and got my license. And then it was probably, I still was the program director of the college. So I didn't want to, take away from that. But so I was trying to do both things. And I actually did both for 3 years. And then finally last year, quit the college. So I got us through our 10-year accreditation. I didn't want to leave before that. And then I had a great team that took over and moved on from that. So, but it was kind of funny. At first, I'm like, I don't like this. I tried quitting like 3 times, and
why?
Because I just was like, this is dumb. Why am I doing 2 things? I can't do this. This is like too much. And then I got my like first sale.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
I got my first sale, and I was like, oh, I love this actually. So then
how did you find your first sale?
Oh, you want to know? So this is me. This is like typical Becky. We were in Texas, standing in line. So we went to Magnolia Market area, and you have to, if you actually want to get a seat at the table, like I think it's called Magnolia Table, you have to get up early and go stand in line. And so we were like the second people in line. And so, of course, it didn't open for like another hour, but if you weren't in line, you weren't getting in. So then we started talking to the person in front of us, and she goes, oh my goodness, I have some friends moving up to Wisconsin. I'm like, where? She's like, kind of like, I don't know, something like Pewaukee or outside Milwaukee. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's where I live. And so I gave her my card, and because of course I had cards made. And so then her friend got a hold of me when they were moving up here. And I met with them. We actually, is the day they got here, we invited them. They came to church with us, and then it was like the 4th of July. So then we took them to the parade, and got to know them. And then they were like, okay, now we're ready to look for a house. And those are my first clients.
Dang.
So, yep.
Okay. How many, I guess, how long have you been in real estate for?
This is my 4th year.
Okay. 4th year. And how many sales did you do your first year?
My first year, okay, let's see. Like 9, maybe.
Good for you.
Yeah.
You want to guess how many I did my first year?
0.
1.
1?
Yeah, 1.
Hey, that's good.
I did, it was back in 2011. I did 2 jobs. While I was doing real estate, I was a part-time supervisor at UPS, which if you knew what we did with your packages.
Yeah, I've seen some of it.
Feet go through TVs. I mean, we throw them. Hated that job. And I bartended weddings, which was very interesting. But I just didn't like working for the man. Yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, 1 sale, so 9, that's killing it.
Okay.
That's killing it.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know. I just that's how I still kind of feel. I'm like, oh, is that good?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I don't know. You know, you don't know what you're capable of until you do it.
So you kind of found the love for real estate, and you're still doing PT a little bit.
I was. Yeah. Right now, the the way I keep my hand in it a little bit is I volunteer at the multiple sclerosis gym.
That's awesome.
Which is awesome because there's no insurance involved. You're not trying to like document and write notes and all that stuff. You like literally just get to do PT and help people who can't help themselves. So it's
how
really
often are
awesome.
you doing that?
Well, I was doing it every Wednesday, but now it's hard because I've gotten really, really busy. So I just need to sort of figure out this new schedule and get over there. But I get over there as much as I can, and I love it there. They're good people.
Now, we will talk about getting busy because a lot of people seem to struggle right now in the real estate business, and you're doing something to stay busy when it's a time of struggle for a lot. Now, what kind of things do you see that are I wouldn't say similar with PT, but is there anything that you've learned in that business that's kind of helps you with your real estate business?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I always say this, it's still helping people just in a very different way. It's still taking care of things like their needs. So in physical therapy, we're treating injuries. We're, figuring out what's wrong with your shoulder and giving you exercises and stuff to do. And then in real estate, we're just figuring out what other needs do. So it's not an injury, but like, do you need help packing? Do you need boxes brought over? What does the family, like if it's an older client, like is their family out of state that needs kind of some contact or help with something for that person? I know like we've done things like, okay, it's time to pack your kitchen up. So we, just bring our team over and make sure that they get packed up so that really all the family has to do is come there with the moving truck, pack and go. And so I think that's part of it. Also having empathy and like just being able to kind of read the room and understand like what's going on with that person, I think is really, I don't know, maybe refreshing to people. There's a lot of stuff in real estate, like contracts. I mean, that's very detail oriented. And then being in the medical field, like you have to be detail oriented to, to survive really, you know?
I love that a lot because what I try to train my agents is, I mean, we're looked at as more like salespeople, but I don't like that term only because we're more like consultants. We're really here to like diagnose what their real estate goals and needs are. And then we help with the solutions. And I like that because that's basically what you did in PT, right? So what's going on? Let's diagnose what's happening and let's find a solution to help you get, back, I don't know, what is it, back in shape? Like walking again?
Yeah,
like,
walking
what is it?
again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now it's just a different goal,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. So you're basically figuring out what their true wants and needs are in real estate. And that's how people trust other agents and how people get hired. And that's amazing. So now to touch base on like you being busy in a tough market, where are your clients mainly coming from? Because it seems like a lot of agents have a tough time finding clients.
Yeah. Home good lines.
Home good line.
Yeah. Just go to the Home Goods every day. Stand in line. Honestly.
Oh no. Home Goods, the store?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Is that really how you're doing it?
Well, sometimes.
That's awesome.
But here's the thing.
Are you tapping them on the shoulder in line?
No, I'm just in line and I just start talking to them because sometimes the line is long but okay.
That is awesome.
I mean, it's kind of a joke, but it's kind of true actually. So it's more, okay. So I also have a coach and I probably drive him crazy a little bit because he's like, how many calls did you make? How many of this did you make? And I'm like, look, I will make calls for sure. And they are not sales calls. Like they truly are genuinely calling friends and checking in on them. Because sometimes in real estate you get going and you're so busy, you just need to be intentional about who you're reaching out to and making sure that you like keep your friends, because sometimes it's hard to make time to do fun things when you're working all the time, right? So that's one thing. I do still do phone calls, but honestly, like I will literally be sitting on an airplane. Why am I sitting next to this person? Like I always feel like you're in the spot for a reason kind of all day long. So why am I here? Why am I getting gas next to this person? Is there something they're talking about? Or when you're at lunch, then you're like, I think they might have just said something about real estate back there. Like, I don't know, maybe there's a spot where I could like plug into them and be like, I heard you talking about this. Like, if there's anything I can do to help you, like, not to be weird, but here's my card or whatever. I just think it's being very intentional about helping people, not selling. It's always like, it's a relational thing. I love how you said that, because it's like, wait, how can I give them the level of service that they need? What can I do to help them?
Yeah.
And that's really...
guide them through the process.
Right.
Yeah. And this is, I love this because it seems, okay, so and I told you before the podcast, like the way I find business is we do like the lead generating expires for somebody owners, probate, divorce, and all that stuff. But I also tell our other agents, it's not for everybody. People are still successful in other ways of finding business.
Right.
And that's one of them, is just talking with people about real estate. I'm doing the same thing, just I'm calling different types of people, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say that you're at Home Goods.
Yeah.
Okay. And you hear, old lady Jane and Bob talking about possibly selling the house. How do you approach it?
That's a great question. I don't know. I just it's like every time it's different. Maybe there's something in their cart that looks cool or something. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. Where'd you get that? And then it just sparks a conversation. Because I feel like I don't typically say like, I just heard you were talking about selling your house. I'm Becky Thomas, Yeah,
because I think that's what a lot of people like think they have to say.
Yeah.
So you kind of weasel your way in.
Well, I don't know. I don't want to use like weasel, but I just feel like I just want to know, like I want to hear more about what's going on with them. And then, yeah, if it keeps going that way, then like, oh, do you guys already have somebody that is going to sell your house for you? Like, if not, I'm in real estate,
So you're actually just generally trying to get to know somebody.
Right. Because I feel like you have to trust someone. I mean, it is the biggest purchase or sale of your life almost. Like, you better trust the person who's going to be in your life for a while, because that's a good, 45 to 60 days where I'm in someone's home, I'm packing their stuff and like a lot of personal items, So I think that they want to make sure that they can trust you, really with like a big thing,
And talking about the cool item in their cart is what sparks the conversation.
Maybe. Huh? Yeah. I mean, it might be. But so that is one way. Like, also now being in real estate for going on my 4th year, I do feel like that referral business, and that's kind of what a lot of people say is it's that 3rd to 4th year when it switches from doing as much intentional lead generation to keeping in contact with people you've already done business with, your past clients, and then that business starts getting referred back. Like, we loved Becky, you guys are selling now. Here you go.
How often are you following up with your database that's like your past clients and friends and family?
Well, we just started a 36 touch program. So 36 times a year. It's kind of some people call it the 33 touch, the 36 touch. It's being intentionally touching your database 36 times per year, whether that's through client events, from newsletters, just from an email, from a phone call, like however it is that you're, I don't want to say like getting in their face, but like your name is coming across. That's 36 times a year. Yep.
Either like email, postcards, events, a phone call quarterly. Absolutely. Good. I hate doing client events only because I hate the planning and I'm always afraid nobody shows up. What kind of client events have you been doing?
Oh my goodness. I love client events. Well, one big thing that we do, so when we have a big luxury listing, it's called a luxury open house. And so, for instance, the one that we did on Oconomowoc Lake, we literally invited everybody on Oconomowoc Lake. It was 145, I think, pure invitations that we handed out. And then we also asked the clients like what their invite list was. We had the designer send out invites who designed the inside, and we had the builder who did the build out send out to their people as well. So that's a huge database of people that got invited to that one party.
That's awesome.
And then we did that again for our Whitaker Row property. And then other things that we're doing. So we have a wine night coming up So we partner with different businesses, one to help promote people in our community as well, and then to kind of have that VIP list of people who have done business with us in the past get invited to those. Some of the other things we're doing this summer, we're doing like a night on a boat with dinner. What else do we have, Britton, coming up? We have a lot of stuff. Oh, we did last year. That was fun. Last year we did the doggy pictures for Valentine's Day.
Sweet.
So I set up like this cool thing. We actually partnered with Hounds and Tap in Menominee Falls and did that there. And then we do a lot of things.
Which is another lead
social
gen thing.
Media.
Social media. Thanks, Sarush, for the social media. We could literally do a whole podcast on just client events.
Yeah.
And I might have to take you up on doing that just to learn a little bit more about it. All I did was Pi Day event, but I didn't do it here. It was my first time doing it off-site, and it was actually a ton of fun.
Yes.
I partnered with Tina Reddick and Alex DiNamarco, and we had like over 300 people combined, which is really cool because they like clients thought like the 300 people were like my clients, which I was like, no, not all mine. But it felt good. A lot of good conversations. And they actually say that the most referrals in any business, doesn't have to be real estate, is like when you do client events.
Yeah.
It's like a personal touch, and you don't really, it like naturally comes up, like whatever your business is, which is really cool.
Yep.
And I had a thought on, oh God, I can't remember screw it. I can't remember what that was, but
one thing, like to go back to phone calls, because I know with a lot of new agents, they're always like, oh, what do you do? What do you do? And one like little tip, I don't know if we want to go there, but for newer agents who really are afraid to just pick up the phone, just think about it like you're not picking up the phone necessarily to be a salesperson, like to say, hi, do you know anybody who would like to buy or sell real estate? You know, like that's scary. But literally, it's just calling to say hi, and that's it. And guess what? If you don't talk about real estate, like it's okay. And then as you start getting more consistent with your social media, and like that was another comment, like that term consistency is huge in probably any sales role whatsoever. But people would say, oh my gosh, I see you all over social media. Like, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. It looks like you're crushing it in real estate. And it's like, oh yeah, I love it. Now I get to talk about it. But they brought it up because they're seeing all the social happening.
You're like becoming famous to your clients.
Yeah, you're popping, as Britton would say.
Oh, okay. I found the okay. So I had a listing in Mequon. It was like a 2.3. I did do a broker's open. And then somebody mentioned one of the gals that came through. She's like, where's your Botox person? I'm like, I don't have a Botox person. Oh. And then you guys talked about having like a Botox event or whatever. I'm like, how am I missing out on this?
Because that's what you want that?
Yeah, but like I didn't
Clearly
know that
it's not working.
I didn't know that was a luxury thing. I know. I have to go back actually. It was my first time ever doing it this year. Dude, if it wasn't for, I mean, it's worse. If I wait like 3 more months, my 11s would be terrible.
Oh, I know. My 11s are bad. It's okay. Yeah. I don't really care.
So Botox at Broker's Open.
I guess. I don't know. We've never done that. We just had, we've been so consistent, thank you, Suresh, with social media, that we now have had some people starting to reach out to us to come visit their place of businesses. Okay. And so this particular place is a spa. And we asked them what they wanted to highlight, and they said they're Medi-Spa. So then we were like, oh, do we get Botox? So that's how that happened. Now, I have not done a party with it yet. It's expensive.
Now, Sarush wants me to do like highlights, and I don't like even that for like just like events. I don't even know, like, how do you highlight a business? Like when you call, so before they started calling you reached out to them, right?
Right. Yeah. Like, well, we went to Delafield and we wanted to highlight different places there. So we just pop in and we're like, hey, do you mind? We're doing some filming today. Can we highlight your business? And I mean, so far, nobody said no. A lot of times they have to like ask their manager if it's okay to be filming inside the store or whatever. But so far we've like had everybody say yes. And as long as we tag them on it, or sometimes they actually ask us to send it, like the video first real quick, just to see like what we're doing, make sure we're legit. Okay. And so yeah.
Suresh, we're gonna do my when I get Botox, we're gonna highlight her thing. See that? Or there you go. Britton says, come with on Thursday. Get some Botox. Okay.
I thought you meant like highlights in your hair. You were going to get highlights in your hair. I actually
used to have that when I was like in high school. I used to have the frosted tips like an idiot.
Yeah. I don't know. I could see that actually.
Like NSYNC.
Yeah.
Remember those guys?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So you're in luxury listings. Now, everybody wants to know, how do you get involved in luxury listings?
Ooh.
How'd you get your foot in the door?
That's a good question. I don't know if I remember per se, except for that. Here's the thing. And I always remind people of this. Like, I'm almost 50, right? I grew up in Lake Country in Heartland. I worked at several different medical places. I've taught lots of exercise classes where I go to church. So like you become part of all these different networks of people, right? And then people trust me because of my background and all that, or they know me because of that. And then they're like, oh, well, now you're in real estate. That's awesome. Like, of course, we trust you with our bodies, so we might as well trust you with our house, right? Maybe that's it. I don't know. But I think it just, again, it's like getting out there, getting your name out there. People know you from all sorts of different things. So they're like, oh, hey, you're selling real estate. Like, we're thinking about selling our house. So that's probably how that first happened. Another thing that if you're a newer agent, you can do is ask people if you can host an open house at their listing. Now, a lot of times in these bigger properties, like $7 million properties, we're not having just regular open houses because we don't want necessarily the general public coming. So there's a little sensitivity to that. But that doesn't mean that they can't come in and do some Instagramming and some video walkthroughs with myself to then post that on their social media.
So that's a good way for them to start, at least just get into the house.
Yep.
Okay. And then where could I plant? Let's say that, I don't live in Delafield and I don't have parents that are in medical background, but I still want to get around those people. What are some areas where I could plant myself to be around people that may have luxury listings?
I would say probably like going to, this might sound dumb, I don't know, maybe going to like the higher end grocery stores and do your shopping there. Go to restaurants that are located in those areas. I know a lot of people are even servers. They at a higher end restaurant. I'm like, don't quit that job. Like, keep working that. And because those possibly will become your clients, like start talking to them, spark up conversations, tell them you're doing real estate. I don't know, put a sticker on your server pad that says Keller Williams, or like wherever you work with. Yeah. And start talking about real estate. Like, just, it becomes part of your life, right? Like, you love houses, you're posting every day. Like, you should be posting every day, multiple times a day. I had heard something like, you shouldn't post more than once. And these guys are like, oh, post all the time.
All the time. All the time. So you're telling me you're like giving me permission to get drunk at ID in Delafield with my laptop out and talk real estate, basically, is what I need to do. It's like,
yeah. Go for it. Yeah. But I mean, I think that's the thing. Like, you need to start surrounding your, like, okay, I had this like epiphany the other day. So a lot of newer agents come into the office, they sit at the desk at the office, they work on their computer, they make phone calls, and sometimes I want to go up to them and be like, so where are your clients located? And they're like, oh, well, I don't know. I'll be like, but are they here at the office? And then they're like, well, no. I'm like, then why are you here? You should be out networking and being around, surrounding yourself with those particular clients. They're not here.
I know. It seems like a lot of agents are afraid to do that.
Right.
Or they're networking at other agent events. Like, bro, you're not going to get any business from other agents that are also in Wisconsin.
Right.
Go network at, at a different, sorry, that was rude. Go network at like I don't know, like a business network thing. Don't they have that, right?
BNIs. Yeah. Those are actually, though, hard to get in if you're a real estate agent, or there's like if you're a hairstylist, real estate agent, like they're pretty saturated with, and they usually only let one of those type of people,
Yeah. They don't want like 10 agents in there. They want to have like maybe one or two.
Correct.
So, okay. Yeah.
The other thing is like get out and volunteer, right? So I'm really involved in different ministries, in different charities. And
shocking.
I'm
kidding.
Right?
I'm kidding.
I love to like go to fundraisers. I'll sit at like a table of 8 people at a fundraiser, and that inevitably you can talk to all those people. They should all hopefully have your card by the time you leave that table, right? Because you've had all these different conversations. I always keep cards with me no matter what. Like they are always on me, which is great. And maybe that's like an old school thing because I think now you just tap phones or something and people have the contact cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still old school with
I
my
love
cards.
old school
Yeah.
cards.
I got the cards that like even have, they're like free kind of.
Yeah, I got the free cards
see,
too.
I know you have to have that.
Yeah.
They're not throwing that away.
Because they're like holding it. I'm like, oh, it feels good.
So what I just recently learned is that your tagline is real estate at a higher level. Exactly. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah. Well, so we just want to make sure that we create client experiences that exceed expectations. I think they're having come into this at a later time in life. There's definitely some, some preconceived ideas of what real estate agents do, what they are, what they deliver, the type of experience that you're going to have. And I just want to make sure that our clients experience real estate at a higher level. And so what does that mean? Kind of going back, like circling back to where we started this, making sure that you're taking care of their needs. It's a relationship, not just the next sale. So if they need help packing, if they need help getting boxes and bringing tape over, and sometimes the act of packing up a house after you've been there for 20 years is literally overwhelming. So in my personal idea or opinion, it's our job to come alongside of them for whatever that looks like helping wise. And we do all of our own staging. So we stage our homes. We think it's really important to stage your home when you're going to sell. It's kind of like sometimes I tell clients, they're like, it's like you wouldn't go to prom in your ripped jeans and, Converse. Well, maybe Converse because those are cool. But that first look that you get when your prom date like comes down the stairs, hopefully you can all relate with that. And it's like, wow, that she's amazing, right? Or your bride, right? Coming down for the wedding. It's like, it's that first look that you have at your home. So why not have it be the best that it can be, right? So we do our own staging. We have, again, Super Steve comes along if they need maybe a light hung, maybe we want to change out the lights. And they're like, oh, well, now we need to find an electrician, which we do have a huge vendor list that we can give out. And we do give that out to our clients. But also if it's some of those easy things that we need done really, really fast, then we have that resource as well to come in.
So what you're telling me is you're not just planting a sign in the yard, putting it on MLS and kind of just wait for them to bring an offer. You actually dive in and help them make the most amount of money and meet their real estate goals at the same time.
Exactly.
By really tailoring it to them. Now, I should know this off the top of my head because I love this book, but I can't remember the name of it, so hang tight. It's about a guy who owns a restaurant. He was a chef. Hold on. Restaurant owner, book, Unreasonable Hospitality.
Oh, yeah.
Do you read books?
I do. Well, I listen to them.
Okay.
Lots of them.
Then you need to listen to Unreasonable Hospitality by Will Guidaro. It's so good. It's about basically like, okay, so for anybody in a business and you want somebody to return, they say that if they return to a restaurant 3 times, they're there for life. They'll come and visit it all the time. So how can you make the experience not just about the food and the atmosphere, like the pretty pictures they have in there, but how can you connect with the clientele that comes in? And the ideas they have is so freaking good. So read it, and I guarantee you, if that's your motto, that you'll learn some things on there that will take it to like the next level. Guarantee it.
There's also the MREA podcast, right?
Yeah.
There's one in there called Creating Superfans. excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent one to listen to, because it's along that same line. Like you just don't have clients. You're creating fans of yours by taking care of, like, not just doing real estate, but like showing them the cool shop that's in their town, or like and that's kind of what we're trying to create now with our social media and stuff too.
Yeah. We just had it where FHA buyer, appraisal came back and needed GFCIs. So I just, sellers didn't want to do it. Buyers didn't, they're like, we're paying for it, like the down payment, and like, we don't have the money to just pay for an electrician on a house that we don't even own yet. So I went in and changed the GFC. I'm like Super Jeff.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You're like Super Jeff.
Super Steve and Super Jeff should hang out. But it's going like the extra mile to make sure. And
totally.
They're like so thankful.
Right.
They're going to refer us for life because of it. Right.
Right. Having them like keep calling you. So I always tell them, like, this is not like just because we closed on your house. If you have things come up, or you need a good painter, you need somebody to put up siding, like, think of me down the road when you need stuff, because we have such a huge network of people that, we just don't open up doors. We got resources. Right. Yeah, exactly.
Thank you so much for coming on Closing Time Podcast. Is there anything that agents could do in their business today that can help them take it to the next level, break through the ceiling? What kind of advice would you give agents out there right now?
I would probably go back to saying, get out there. Don't just stay in the office. Get out there, start networking, become involved, start volunteering somewhere. That's free. That's just time, right? And if you're a newer agent, you're not really busy yet, like, you have time, right? So do that. The other thing I would say is, obviously, reach out to your sphere, but don't make it salesy. Just call them and be like, legitimately ask about their life and how it's going and what's going on. Like, what can I help you with? So yeah, I would say that. And what else? Anything else, guys? You think? Systems are sexy, Britton says. That is hard. I'm starting a team, and I hired an amazing admin, and she has been helping me get down systems, because I'm kind of like, just go move. I'm just on to the next. So she is literally sitting me down and being like, okay, what do we do when this happens and this happens and this? So it's been really nice. Yeah. It makes your life a lot easier.
Yeah, system to follow to get from A to B, and not bust your own ass while you're doing it. Right. Every single time.
What would you say?
Oh gosh, it's very similar. It's like I tell newer agents, like, if they're sitting in the office, it's like, you got to go meet people. If you're working on your website, no one's going to visit your website as soon as you launch it. Like, or how pretty is your business card right now? You need to be talking to people, whatever that looks like. Open houses, like you said, networking events, or volunteering, or getting on the phone like I do. Just, there's so many different ways. But if you're not trying to make contacts with somebody every day or have conversations, you're not going to sell real estate, or at least meet the goals that you want in real estate if you just sit in the office.
Right.
Someone's going to call me.
Right. That's not going to happen. No, be out there. So,
Yep. Thank you again.
Yeah,
appreciate it. You're welcome on anytime. And I know Sarush would love to have you on anytime because you've become his new favorite client, and I hate that. Just kidding. All right. Thank you. Closing time. Real quick, Becky, where can we find you and look you up online on the socials?
At Becky Thomas Realtor.
Nailed it. Okay. Thanks everybody for watching. And if you guys want to hear something, whatever subject, let me know.
Yeah. Thank you.